Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making these cute little lizards. They are all one piece and no sew. For this video I'm going to be making it in the number 4 yarn, but I have also tested it out in the number 6 blanket yarn. If you want to try and make it in this, you can follow the exact same pattern. During this video, I will be using a number 4 medium weight yarn, a 4.25 millimeter hook, and 10 millimeter safety eyes. And if you want to do the plush yarn, I used a number 6 bernat baby blanket yarn, 5.5 millimeter hook, and 14 millimeter safety eyes. This is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and I am also providing a drop down at the top of the screen with the pattern instructions for the first 30 seconds of every row for you to follow along with. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. And if you check down in the description box below, I will have the yarn types, colors, the eyes and hooks and everything down in there, as well as my Facebook craft page link. If you want to share some of the things you've made with me, you can go there and comment on a post with a photo. I love to see everybody's projects. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. All right, to begin, you can start your loop or ring any way you prefer, as long as you have the same amount of stitches in row 1. I'll be making a loop with a knot on the end as if I was going to make a chain. So I fold my yarn in half, wrap it around my finger, bring that loop down, around, and through, and then I give it a little pull, leaving myself a loop just a little bit bigger than my hook. And then we're going to grab our hook, go in the loop, grab our yarn, pull up, chain 1, and remember this does not count as a stitch. That just attaches our yarn to our loop. And for row 1, we're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop over top of the tail. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if you need to, give that tail a pull and close up the hole that was in the center there. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for row 2, we are going to do 6 increases. So that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2 in the same stitch. Increase again, 3 and 4. Increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, and our last increase 11 and 12. Row 3, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that pattern around for a total of 16. So 1 single crochet for 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. and repeat that around. 5, 6, increase, 7 and 8, 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, 14, and our last increase, 15 and 16. Row 4, we are just going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Row 5, we are just going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And you'll notice that your piece is starting to curve. You want that to be curving away from you. So your hook is on this side in the front and your back is over here. If for some reason you are like this, you're going to end up having it inside out, and the eyes and the legs may end up on the wrong side. So if you're like this with your hook on the back, just give it a flip like that, and then you'll be all sorted, and let it start curling away from you. Row 6, we're going to do the little puffs for above the eyes, and we're going to start that row with 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to do what I call a puff stitch of 4. We're going to yarn over, go into that next stitch, grab our yarn and pull up, so that's 1 time. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab our yarn and pull up, that's twice. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up, that's 3 times. Yarn over, go in that same stitch, grab your yarn and pull up, that's 4 times. And now we're going to grab our yarn and we're going to go through all the loops on the hook. And if for some reason you skip one or snag one, you are better off to pull it out and start again. It'll make it a little bit easier than trying to figure out which one you missed. All right, now we're going to continue with 4 single crochets. You may have to push that puff out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now we're going to do a puff stitch in this next stitch. So remember to yarn over. That's once, yarn over. That's twice, yarn over. 3 times, yarn over. 4 times, all in the same stitch. Grab your yarn and then pull through all the loops on your hook. And now we should have 5 single crochets left to finish off the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row 7, we are just going to do 16 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and when you get here, make sure you're going in the right stitches. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, oops, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Row 8, we are going to do 2 single crochets, 1 decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 12. So 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets, and a decrease for 3. And repeat that around. 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12. Row 9, we're going to do 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, 4 single crochets, 1 decrease, and then we should have 1 single crochet to finish off the row. So we're going to begin with 3 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to decrease, and then we're going to do 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a decrease, and then 1 single crochet to finish off that row. Row 10, we are just going to do 10 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Row 11, we are going to do 4 single crochets, 1 increase, repeat that pattern around for a total of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase, 5 and 6. Repeat that around. 7, 8, 9, 10, and an increase for 11 and 12. All right, now we're going to put the eyes in and add a little bit of stuffing to the head. All right, so for the eye, you want to be going for this eye. So here's where your puff stitch is. You want to go in this stitch right below on this side. So we'll be going this way when we crocheted. So you want it on this side underneath, and then on this side in the hole just underneath. That's where your puff stitch was, and then just under here. Okay, so let's put our first one in and try not to pinch it under the puff. You want that to come out. I'm going to put my back on right away. You can just double check before you give it its last click. And it looks fine to me. And then we want to put it on the other side. So there's your puff, and you want to come just down right here underneath of it. And again, you don't want any of that eye bump to be underneath. And then we'll put, whoop, got it twisted there. Put our back on that eye. Just give it a double check. I'm going to move mine ahead a little bit. All right, and then grab some stuffing. So we don't need too much stuffing. Just enough to fill out the head, and be careful you're not overstuffing it and stretching out your stitches, because we kind of have the shape already. So just make sure your eye posts are where you want them. I got new eyes, and I'm not really a fan of the backs of these ones. I'm not a fan, it's just that I'm not used to them. They're a little less flexible. All right, and when you're happy with your stuffing and your head, we will put our hook back in and continue on. Now we're going to start this side of the next row with our leg, and we're going to do our leg by starting with chaining 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now we're going to do 3 slip stitches starting in this second chain from the hook. So not this one, but this one. You're just going to insert your hook and do a slip stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now keep track, you want to keep this straight, and we're going to be using this stitched for the bottom of our fingers. So now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and again, starting in this second chain from the hook, we're going to do 3 single crochets, single slip stitches, 1 slip stitch, 2 slip stitches, and our third one in that same one as our last little finger. And now we're going to chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and now starting in that second chain from the hook, we're going to do 3 slip stitches, 1, 2, and this time, instead of going right in this hole, because we've made a big hole there, we're going to come up 1 little piece chunk of thread here and insert our hook there and do our slip stitch, and then we will get rid of that hole. And now we want to do 6 slip stitches down the rest of the chain, starting in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's our leg, and the rest of them I'm going to go through a little faster. So if you need to redo this one and follow along, do that now, and then you'll be able to stay with me when I do the other ones. Okay, now we're actually going to be putting our first actual stitch in row 12, and we're going to start with 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to do our other leg, so we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and now we're going to do 3 slip stitches down, starting in the second chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, do your 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then do your 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and remember to go up 1 little piece of a stitch so we get rid of that hole. So that's 3, and then we're going to do 6 slip stitches down the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to do 9 single crochets to finish off the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you should have something that looks just like this now. All right, row 13, we're just going to do 12 single crochets all the way around. And when we go around the legs, we have to remember that we never created a stitch when we did the leg. So right now we are behind this set of V's, and we want to be behind this set of V's. So we're going to be going in this stitch right here under the leg. So flip your leg up, and we want to go right under the leg behind the first stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and now we want to go around this leg behind this first stitch right here under the leg. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoops, 8, 9, 10, oh my goodness, 10, 11, and 12. Rows 14 to 21 are just going to be 12 single crochets all the way around, and when I get a large chunk like that, I like to do them consecutively. So that's 8 rows. 8 rows times 12 single crochets is 96. So I'm going to do 96 single crochets, and I'm going to flip my marker every time I hit a set of 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to flip my marker, but keep on counting. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, flipping my marker, but keep on counting. 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, flipping my marker, keep on counting. 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96. Row 22, we're going to do the other set of legs, and we're going to start off by doing one single crochet. And now we're going to start our legs. We're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we're going to do 3 single or slip stitches down the chain. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, Oops, I don't think I caught that all. 2, 3. Now we're going to do 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and remember to come up and catch another piece of stitch, so we close that hole for 3. And we're going to do our 6 slip stitches down the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we're going to do 4 single crochets starting in the next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to do our second leg. So chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do our 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. 1, 2, 3, 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and 3 slip stitches. 1, 2, and then up, catching a piece of the other toe, our 3rd slip stitch, and now we have 6 slip stitches down the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, oops, I got twisted there a little bit, 6. And then we should have 7 single crochets to finish off the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, let's add a little bit of stuffing now before we get too far. So I'm just going to lightly stuff down up to the neck. If you want to give them a little curve later on, you want this to be very lightly stuffed. If you don't care and you want it to be a straight body, you can stuff it a little firmer. But be careful not to stretch your stitches by overstuffing him. All right, put your needle back in. Row 23, we're going to start with a decrease. So we're going to be going on one side of the leg in our next stitch. So right here, grab our yarn and pull up, and then we want to go into this stitch under the leg to finish off our decrease. Grab your yarn and pull up, and then pull through the 3 loops. And then we're going to do 2 single crochets across. 1, 2, and then we're going to do a decrease around this leg. So insert your hook and grab your yarn around the leg, and then behind the stitch under your leg, insert your yarn and pull up, and then go through the 3 loops. And then we should have 6 single crochets to finish off the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Whoops. 6. Row 24, we are just going to do 10 single crochets all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Row 25, we are going to do 8 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a decrease for 9. Row 26, we are just going to do 9 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Row 27, we are going to do 7 single crochets, 1 decrease, and that will be for a total of 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and a decrease for 8. Row 28, we are just going to do 8 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to add a little bit of stuffing again. Remember, you want to stuff as you go. So if you have a hard time stuffing it as it gets smaller, you'll want to stuff it a little more often than I am. Row 29, we're going to do 6 single crochets, 1 decrease for a total of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a decrease for 7. Row 30, we're going to do 7 single crochets all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe add a little more stuffing if you need to. I'm going to have to start using my scissors now. I'm kind of overstuffing the tail a little bit so that when I get down to a few stitches, I can kind of squish it back towards the point at the end. Row 31, we are going to do 5 single crochets, 1 decrease for a total of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6, maybe. There we go. Row 32, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Row 33, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In row 34, we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now we only have 2 rows left, so let's add the last little bit of stuffing in there if you need to. Put a little bit more in. Not too much. Remember, some of this is going to be squished back into the tip of the tail. All right, let's get our hook back in. And I'm not going to use my stitch marker anymore because it's just getting in the way. Row 35, we are going to do 4 single crochets and a decrease for a total of 5. 1, make sure you're getting under the first side of the stitches. 2, 3, 4, and a decrease for 5. And row 36, we're going to do 5 single crochets around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you can, try and do a decrease and 1 slip stitch just to get a little bit more of a point. So 1 decrease, and a slip stitch. And then you're going to tie that off. I'm going to show you how to do something to kind of get them to curve with this tail. So make sure you have quite a bit of extra to go past his body for the tail. Okay, so grab your darning needle. And let's get that threaded on. We can take this out too. And now to close him up, all you're going to do is go in and out the top of the loop of the stitch if you can. And then when you get back to the knot, we're just going to give that a pull. Tighten that up. Try and get some of that extra stuffing now back up into the tail. Try not to wreck your stitches. And give mine a little bit of a roll, just squish them back there. There we go. And then now I want to go give it a tie. I'm going to go down into the hole though, and I'm going to give it a tie over here. Don't pull this too tight. You want to be kind of on the underside. I'm a little off, but I think I can still make it work here. So I'll give that a tie. Then you're going to hide that back down inside, and you're going to come out somewhere kind of between the legs on the bottom. Try and hold the tip of his tail. You don't want that tip to be wrecked. And now, if you give that a bit, which way do we want it? We want it to curve this way for me. Give it a bit of a pull to make that tight, and see how it just kind of pulls the tail around. So now, keeping a good tension on that, we're going to tie a little knot right here by one of the stitches. And then now we're going to go back down where we, in this, kind of to try and hide this knot, and we're going to come up in between these two legs in the front on the bottom. And this time I kind of hold it this way, so it curves the opposite way, and give that a bit of a pull. You may have to play around a bit with it. I see mine's not curving as nice here. I might go up a little more. Let's try that. I don't want to go too high. There we go. There's a bit more of a bend now. So you want to keep some tension on that. Don't worry about this. We can fix that in a second. You're going to tie a knot. So I'm going to pull that so it's not twisted so much. And now I'm going to go back the other way, just to give this a bit more of a curl. You don't have to, but I want mine twisted. So we'll give that another little pull. This also shortens it a little bit. So if you thought it was a little long, it'll kind of make it a little shorter. So tie your knot. And then if you're happy with the shape here, we'll just hide that back inside somewhere. And give it a trim. if you want to give him a couple of lines across, or dots, or diamonds, whatever shape you feel like you'd like to try. I just went kind of in the center with my accent color, and then come up where I wanted to put my first stripe. Leave a little bit of a tail for tying once you get to the end. Now I just went 1, 2, 3 stitches across, and then I went 1, 2, 3 rows down, kind of keeping even. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Shoot, I'm right in the same spot I put in, but that's okay. Just don't catch this yarn. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I think this is going to be my last one. So I'm going 1, 2, 3 over, and now I'm going to come back out where I started, and then I'm going to tie those 2 ends together. And you can go all the way down, whatever you feel like trying. I just realized I wasn't watching in the camera, so I hope that I showed all those little 1, 2, 3s. Then we're just going to thread our needle back on. And then go in that same stitch and come out somewhere. I'm just going straight down out the belly. And I want to kind of pull this gently so that I don't pull my stripes. I want to make sure that knot is through. And I'm just going to fix that little hole and give my yarn a trim. And if you happen to see the purple, just take your needle up a couple stitches and just kind of swipe it around, and then that will disappear. And there we go, we got our cute little lizard. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button and click that bell. Not only does that help me out, but you will also be notified every time I load a new video, as well as any likes, shares, and comments are always appreciated. And as always, take care, be safe, and happy crocheting.